Jackson on first down. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Hey, come on.
Now they'll run. It's Ken Walker. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
From the 44-yard line, here's second down and 1. They go play action with Jackson. There's Chris Olave. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Walker now on first and 10. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on second down. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That's now consecutive 5-yard carries to pick up the first down.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. Here, look at this Baltimore defense. They were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
On second down, it's Walker. And a short gain down to about the 33. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Jackson. Throw out wide to Walker. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 23. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. Well, it seems pretty clear on this opening drive that they want to get him involved, not only, Charles, in the run game, but in the pass game as well. And he can be such a weapon for them when they utilize him this way.
And, partner, you know I'm a veteran, right? In other words, that means a little bit older. Back in my day, we used to call a guy like this a workhorse, except he carried the ball all the time. Now they get it to him a variety of ways, but you're right. They want to run their offense through him. They have their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Three and a half to go, first quarter.
13. Nice shot.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 44 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. A stop there on 3rd. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on 1st and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there, and I'd go right at him with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them, because right now they probably have their heads down.
And he'll get it. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Bengals are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. Well, CD, that was a well-orchestrated drive by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and how about the way he capped it off, too? Orchestrate the drive and then let everybody know exactly who the guy is on the field you've got to watch on every play. Finishes it off with a touchdown run.
And Tyler Bass on for the extra point attempt. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals.
Makes the score Bengals 7, Ravens nothing. Tyler Bass set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. On the return, Tony Pollard from his end zone. And it's a pretty good return here, so he'll get this up to the 29. They started on the ground with Eckler. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. They fight forward for a modest 2-yard gain. Second down. The Ravens at 7-3 now on the year, and they've been in a great groove. Winners of 7 of their last 10 now on the year.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Second down and 8. Here's Murray. To the sideline and incomplete. Was trying to get it to Terry McLaurin, and it'll bring up third down. You talk about this Bengals defense. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and they're just better than 50% of them at defending the pass, number 16 in the league.
I think if you talk to their head coach, you'll get a nice answer about how much he likes his team and what they're doing. But at the end of it, he would admit there's definitely room to improve.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the 7. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
Well, it certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
Here's 2nd and 10. Jackson, options out left. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And now we're going to get a stoppage as, yeah, that looks like Jackson who's shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try for the first with Walker. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 55 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now a 2nd and 10. In motion is Gray. And he'll get it here on the touch pass.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Strong. Flushed out right. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the first down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
On first down, Strong. And Walker has it. And he'll be down at the 46. So they go from 146 to the other on a pickup of 8. Yeah, boy, here's a sight you don't want to see. Ken Walker injured on that last play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Go!
From the 46, here's 2nd and a couple. Carry for Brandon Bolden. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Off play action. Strong. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was... game. 3rd and short. Blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Got ready.
Gets it down to the 32.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Let's go.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down. Again, they turn to Ford. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Third and 2. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Room here to run. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Chris Olave, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bengals have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Pollard to return from the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
And they're on the 17-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. It's Eckler again. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2, and it was the Ravens getting the road victory in that one, so now they'll look to finish off the season sweep here in Baltimore. Second and 7. Murray now to throw. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
These guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. This is a counter play. Eckler, and forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Miles Murphy, he's the one who got in there and hit him for a loss.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
Eckler going to get it again on second down. There he goes, left side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Austin Eckler with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Ravens have cut it back within a score. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. Claybrooks going to bring this one out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. The Bengals drive about to get going. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
On 1st and 10, Strong. He's going to air one out. He's got him in. Complete. Touchdown. Danny Gray. 81 yards. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Pollard to return from the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, This drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis-Seen. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a 1st down. A CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
3rd and 3. The handoff to Ford up the middle. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. The kick by Bass is good, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. Able to fight through one tackle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the 2nd quarter. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Once more, here's Eckler. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Shotgun now from Murray. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is taken at the 23. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They will start this drive with Ford. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
42 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
They run with Ford. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and about 4 more for 1st.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
In motion left goes a tight end. This is Ford.
And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44.
10 yards there on a Bengal 1st. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. On the ground, it's Ford. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Second and 5.
Check, Bobcat, check, Bobcat.
So the offense a little antsy. The flag comes out, and a 5-yard penalty.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. They run the counter. Ford. A pretty nice, strong run, but can't break away. Down just inside the 30.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. They got to get it to the 21 here on third down. Back to throw. Strong.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown.
Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And the lead down to 10, 24-14. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
Claybrook's going to bring this one out. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
From the 22 now, here's second down and 7.
Looking to throw. Strong.
He'll find his rookie tight end, Sam Laporta.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41.
88 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 41, here's a second and 4.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ford, and he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
But now he appears to be in some pain. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Check. Go.
Now it's Bolden, able to push his way through. And now nothing but green ahead of him. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
One of the good things offenses did years ago was they lettered their gaps the same on each side. A gap between guard and center on either side. That's what you want to control when you're trying to run the ball up the middle.
And why is that?
Because typically you either have a big nose guard in there in an odd front, 3-man front, or you have defensive tackles that might line up in the A-gaps trying to gain an advantage and get upfield themselves. If you can control that, it gives the back plenty of space to pick and choose where to go.
And there, a great inside run, broke the contact and got some space. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 20, here's 2nd and 4.
They'll run again with Bolden. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
The kick by Bass is good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. They run with Bolden. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The ball situated at the 9. 2nd and goal. Here's Bolden. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. On the toss, Bolden. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the fourth.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist, but time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during the series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Able to avoid him at the 40. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
At the 45-yard line.
They fake the handoff. Now Murray. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. They'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a 1st?
And here's a spot where this offense says, we got to start making something happen. We're down 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. We've got to start moving with some urgency. And here's a big play that gives them a ray of hope that they can get back in this one.
On play action, it's Murray. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Bengals are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here, maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT.
Throwing on 1st down. Strong. He's going to air one out. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Danny Gray, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year.
And the Bengals look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
So now the Bengals offense will stay out there as they'll decide to go for 2.
60 Bison, 60 Bison.
They're going to keep it on the ground. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Pollard to return from the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
2nd and 10.
Murray to air it out again. And that'll be incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
The Ravens on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. Now Murray. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Murray's got to have this one. He'll fire deep, looking for more. Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the 3rd time. Picked off by Lewisine. And the Bengals are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Let's go now.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. They stay on the ground. Here's Bolden again. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Bolden. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
On 1st down, Bolden, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the 4th quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
Yeah, boy, it is tough to bring him down that time. He surges forward. He's going to get a full 6 out of that. 2nd down. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
And on the road. How about all of that rolled up into one? Because how often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin?
Yeah, they thumped them.
Yeah, they jumped all over them. In a division game, it's usually a touchdown or less because these two teams know each other better than most teams in the league. In this case, that didn't hold up. On the road, big margin, big victory. Oh, yeah, that flight home will be good.
So for Cincinnati, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, we'll see how this affects their playoff standing as they fall to 7-4 now on the year. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.